Good morning, everybody. Matt Modi here to give you my favorite MLB home run predictions for today. We are talking Sunday, May 18th. The Dong Report is back in your life. I'm going to have 4 players for you guys to hit a home run to lock in for today's MLB betting slate. Very, very confident in the 4 guys that we have for today. It's a pretty juicy game or day. 4 home runs, hopefully. Ballpark Pals got a ton of these guys rated positive, expected value. A lot of juicy odds plays as well, which is always nice. Good from a weather perspective for today as well. If you believe in weather, if you disavow weather, then you are not going to think that. But before we can get into those plays, we do have to do a recap from yesterday, which was tough. You know, I played yesterday a little bit heavier with guys like Abreu and especially Schwarber. This is the first time I put a half unit on a player this year. Schwarber did not hit a home run. I really liked the look on Kyle Schwarber, and I don't really think he even came close. So that one was tough. We were down 1.3 units yesterday. I think that's the most we've lost on a day on the Dong Report so far this year, because normally I don't play a much above a unit. So that brings our losses, the losses from yesterday bring our profit on the year to about 2.37 units of profit. Luckily, we are still up for the year. It's tough and frustrating to be up less than 5% ROI, considering how hot we were when we started the year. You know, I knew that things were going to cool down. I didn't quite think it would be to this extent. It's been a mix of bad luck. It's been a mix of bad reads. I'm not going to say that I'm perfect and that I've just gotten unlucky. There are times where I've just been taking guys where I shouldn't have. Hopefully, that's not the case today. If you've blindly put a unit on every single guy, you're still up 15 units, which isn't terrible. Again, it just feels gross in the context of how these last couple weeks have gone. But I really feel good about the 4 guys that we have today. So we can get right into it. Just want to give you guys a reminder that what you see on the screen here is Ballpark Pal. You'll see me use them a ton, along with a bunch of other sources as well, kind of going through my process and how I decide on guys. But the first one that we're locking in here is Eugenio Suarez. I'm taking him to hit a home run. He was positive EV on Ballpark Pal, plus 400 odds at ESPN Bet is the best price you can get on him to hit a home run. And I sent him out and I put a quarter unit on Suarez to hit a home run. It looks like that plus 400 number is still available. And if you have Pinnacle where you are, you can actually get an even better price at plus 431. So going to Suarez, you know, I didn't think that he was going to be offered at plus 400 when I went to bed last night. You know, I made my notes of guys that I wanted to look into in the morning once we had odds out. And I was expecting him to be in the low 300s, which is where he was yesterday. That's not the case. Plus 400, I think, is awesome. Now, yes, he did hit a home run yesterday. And I know that sometimes does scare people off. That doesn't really scare me off personally. I think a guy hitting a home run, as long as that wasn't the only hit that he had of the day that was a hard hit, I think you're good to bet them the next day. And especially Suarez. I mean, he had the home run 425 feet, just an absolute missile. That is like exactly what you're looking for. He could have played this game anywhere, and that's a home run. 111 miles per hour off the bat, 26-degree launch angle is absolutely picture perfect. He also had a flyout that traveled 433 feet, just got a little bit too much under it. That launch angle is a little bit too high, but that was 99.5 miles per hour off the bat. And then he had another hit that was, that was a force out, bad launch angle, but still 100 plus EV. So that's 3 hits, 99 miles per hour and above, 1 home run, one of them put also in the air. And you look at him over the last 2 weeks, very good stats. Incredibly on fire at the plate. Of course, this is going to take forever to load. This is Fangraphs. For whatever reason, Fangraphs like short circuits every 5 minutes when you're trying to use it, and it takes forever to load. So those of you that have watched these videos consistently see that. This screen here was Baseball Savant. I always kind of sometimes forget to mention that. But the thing I want to highlight here is the pitcher that is pitching for the Rockies. The pitcher for the Rockies is Chase Dollander. If you look at him on the entire season, even if you look at his last 5 starts, which I generally like to do for pitchers, is look at their last 5 starts, because stuff they did in their first start isn't necessarily relevant now. He looked like one of the worst dong ball pitchers, one of the stinkiest guys, someone that you really want to target. 5 home runs over his last 5 starts. A home run every 18 at-bats is disgusting. He gave up 4 home runs 5 starts ago against Washington. Since then, he's only given up 1. So if you just look at the last 4 starts, things look a lot better for Chase Dollander. So I don't quite think he's as juicy of a matchup as you would expect looking at his year-long stats. That said, Still not anybody to be scared of. Barrel rate, 10% over his last 4 starts. Hard hit rate, 43%. Those are 2 pretty bad numbers. Barrel rate against righties, just under 10%. Against lefties, just above 10%. And he's still giving up a ton of runs as well. So I do think that this guy is going to get hit up pretty quickly. But what I really wanted to highlight here, and now we can go back to Suarez. So over his last week, 7 barrels. That's really, really good. And look at him really since the last 10 days. I mean, 6 of those 7 barrels have happened over the last 10 days. And we see 2 hard hits, 3, 2, 3 that I mentioned yesterday. He's got a barrel in 3 of his last 4 starts, and then he had 3 straight games with the barrel as well. He's one of those guys where he'll go cold for a month, and then it'll be red hot for 2 weeks. And you want to obviously back him during that red hot streak. He hit a home run yesterday. He hit a home run on the 14th. He hit 2 home runs back to back on the 9th and the 10th. And you look at him on the entire year, he started off the year. He's a guy that can hit a home run multiple days in a row. He had 2 one game, 1 the next. We see, no, that's a single, excuse me. We want to go back. Home run, I mentioned back-to-back games on the 10th and the 9th. 4 home runs on this game, which was crazy. And then he, at the beginning of the year, home run in 3 straight games, and then he had a home run 2 days after that. So just kind of showing you that he'll go on these home run binges. So I'm not scared off of the fact that he hit 1 yesterday or that he's hit 2 in the last 3 games. The biggest thing I want to mention here is this 4-seam fastball from Chase Dollander. He throws the 4-seam fastball over 50% of the time. It is not a good-looking 4-seam fastball. According to Ballpark Pal, it is rated F. You want to look at Dollander. I should have pulled this up, but you can also look at his stuff plus, according to Fangraphs, which just measures literally the quote-unquote stuff of a pitch. 100 is average. His is 94. That's below average. And Eugenio Suarez might be the best 4-seam fastball hitter in the entire MLB. You see he's hit, I'm looking at the wrong team. I want to go to the Rockies, the Diamondbacks, excuse me. You look at Eugenio Suarez. This is against right-handed pitching, 4-seam fastball. 5 home runs hit from a 4-seam fastball from a right-handed pitcher over the last month. That's insane. And look at his stats. 37% barrel rate, 80% hard hit rate, 66% fly ball rate. And he's striking out less frequently than 12% of the time. So sometimes, these percentage numbers can be a little bit wonky if the guy strikes out a lot. That is not the case with Eugenio Suarez. And you look at these numbers here. I mean, it's just insane. Home run on the 14th against Hayden Birdsong, 388 feet. Home run, 423 feet, 108 miles per hour off the bat. 102, 105, 99.2, 95.7. Still considered a hard hit. 100.4, 101, 101, 106. It's just insane what this guy does, the 4-seam fastballs. And that's over the last month. You look at the entire season, 7 of his home runs have been hit, 75% hard hit rate, 60% fly ball rate. And yeah, that K rate is a little bit higher. So that kind of makes sense with the percentages of these numbers. But incredible numbers against the 4-seam fastballs from righties. And that's what he's going to see half the time. And it's not a good pitch that Dollander throws. So Suarez is my official play number 1. That's plus 400 odds at ESPN Bet, and that's a quarter unit. I do want to give a lean and a shout out, come on, go away, to Corbin Carroll. God, this thing is annoying. Who is also a decent bet today. He also has really good numbers against the 4-seam fastball. He's hit it off of 5 on the season, and over the last month, that number is down to 2. So not quite as good, but still pretty good. And he's also positive EV according to Ballpark Pal, plus 390 odds at FanDuel. So if you want to take both of them and just kind of spread it, that sounded dirtier than I meant to. Just want to just spray the board is really what I was looking for, not spread it. Don't remember that. Would be Corbin Carroll and Eugenio Suarez. I'm only taking Suarez, so that's what I'm doing. But whatever you want to do is okay with me. Next up, our second pick, and I will admit the last 3 are pretty long shot in terms of odds. But I'm taking Javi Bayz to hit a home run. He is best offered at plus 680 odds at FanDuel. So this is one where I am going a little bit against Ballpark Pal. They do not have him positive EV, but I really, really like Javi Bayz today. And it's not a terrible price. I mean, 680 at FanDuel, 450 at Caesars is ridiculous. And 713 on Ballpark Pal isn't terrible. The reason I feel comfortable going with Bayz, even though it's not plus EV according to Ballpark Pal, is Bayz has been horrible for 3 years. He's actually been really, really good over the last couple weeks. So we're looking at him, on the season against righties, because I want to show you, even though he's a right-handed hitter, going up against a right-handed pitcher, 5 of his 6 home runs have been hit against righties. ISO rate against right-handed pitching of 247. That's a perfectly acceptable ISO rate. You look at him, his game log over the last couple weeks, and we see a hitter that's been hitting the ball very, very well. So let's look at him. Again, we're looking at the last 2 weeks here. Barrel rate of 12.5% isn't amazing, but really the majority of those have come in his recent games. So like, yeah, the May the 4th and the next game, he didn't do anything. But then since then, so it's his last 10 days, 4 barrels, 17 hard hits is really, really good. And look at him recently. 2 hard hits, 3, 2, 2. 2 barrels, 1 barrel. So in his last 4 games, that's 9 hard hits and that's 3 barrels. That's a good recent stretch for Javi Bayz. After, 3 years of being terrible, maybe in a Tigers team that looks really good, that's great for Bayz. And you look at him yesterday, and I'll mention another guy I like in this game that I didn't go with. So he had 2 hard hits yesterday, according to Baseball Savant. 2 hard hits. Looking at Javi Bayz. Not a great game for the Tigers bats overall. Only 4 guys had a hard hit yesterday. He was one of those 4. He had 2. But what I like is he put both of them in the air. So he had a fly out that was 347 feet. Is not like, oh, that's a bad beat, not home run. But I like the fact that it was almost 100 EV, 99.8. And I like the fact that he put the ball in the air. If this one was either a little bit lower or he hit it a little bit harder, that's going to be a home run. Then he had another fly out that was 102 miles per hour off the bat, traveled 337 feet. If this one had the launch angle a little bit lower, that's a home run. And that's what 2 of the 5 longest hits of the day yesterday were hit by Javi Bayz. So not only is he hitting the ball hard, but he's putting the ball in the air. And you look at him against right-handed pitching over the last month, his barrel rate is not the most amazing thing, but he has hit 5 home runs off of righties over the last month. That's pretty good. So Javi Bayz is going up, and the pitcher's going up against, that's also what I wanted to mention. Jose Berrios is actually worse against righties than he is against lefties. Now, he's pretty stinky against both, but against righties specifically, a home run every 15 at-bats in his last 5 starts is terrible. All these numbers, they're red for a reason. 51% hard hit rate, disgusting. Over 10% barrel rate, disgusting. 241 ISO rate, 2.22 home run per 9. All those numbers are very, very, very bad. So that all lines up really well with Javi Bayz. Now, the concerning part, and I really struggled between Bayz and Gleyber Torres, is this pitch mix is admittedly not great for Javi Bayz. If you want to go with Gleyber Torres, he has much better numbers against the sinker from right-handed pitching and sinkers in general. The issue is Javi Bayz is much hotter at the plate. Torres, he had 0 hard hits yesterday. I think he had 1 hard hit yesterday, so that's 2 games with only 1 combined is not great. And Gleyber Torres is much better against left-handed hitters. So just to kind of show you the difference. I showed you the ISO rate for Javi Bayz was like 240 something. For Gleyber Torres, it's 0.9. That's disgusting. That is like me out there batting level ISO rate. And yeah, against lefties, really, really good. You look at his game log, you look at like how he's been at the plate, 0 hard hits, 1 hard hit. And then yeah, he was good before that. So depending on how far you want to go back, maybe you can convince yourself that he's only a couple games removed from 6 over 3 games with 2 barrels in that stretch as well. But he's much better against lefties, and he's not as hot at the plate as Javi Bayz, which is why I went with Javi Bayz. But I will admit that Gleyber Torres, ballpark pal is really high on him, plus 750 odds, and they have him at plus 510. So I went against them a little bit with this one. But I did really like Javi Bayz, and I like Gleyber as well. So same thing. If you want to spray the board on the 2 Diamondbacks guys, on the 2 Tigers guys, I'm not going to blame you. I'm just rocking with the 4 official ones that I have, with this one being play number 2. Next up, I'm going with Jordan Beck to hit a home run. He is all the way offered at plus 800 odds at FanDuel, and that is a big reason why I'm on him, is this price at plus 800 is insane. It should not be priced as high as it is. And there are 2 things strictly from a value perspective that I want to show you. So one thing that I should look at more than I do is positive EV plays, not only according to Ballpark Pal, but from a lines shopping perspective as well. And you can get this on Tails if you use them. Ballpark Pal offers it as well. I'm just looking at expected value, and this is strictly from a line perspective. So this isn't looking at what does Ballpark Pal think of the player, strictly from an odds perspective. Jordan Beck, 11.5% EV from strictly line shopping perspective. I think this is the 9th highest. He's one of 9 guys that have a positive EV of 10% or higher. That's really good. Now we want to look, okay, Ballpark Pal has him 6.3% positive expected value. He's one of 10 guys that are 6% or higher. according to Ballpark Pal. So he is, if you look at from a line shopping and a Ballpark Pal perspective, he's the best play on the board when you look at those two things. I mean, he's offered at plus 800. Ballpark Pal has him at plus 475. That is a very, very good value. And look at the rest of the books. 600 on Bet365, 650 at Fanatics is the closest book. That's an insane line of difference between the two. So if you're just strictly a value priced, and that's how you kind of place your wagers, Beck is the best play on the board from that perspective. Now, he hit 2 home runs yesterday, and I get that scares a lot of people off. Like, how many people hit 2 home runs and then also hit a home run the next day, unless you're like prime Barry Bonds? But you cannot ignore what Beck did at the plate yesterday. So we look at the box score. 5 hard hits. 5. Nobody else had more than 3. And now that is an insane, like, a lot of players were hot at the plate. Nobody was as hot as Jordan Beck. And we're going to go to exit velocity. We're going to look at hit distance. Home run, 419 feet. Home run in 30 out of 30 ballparks. Triple, 409 feet, 104.7 miles per hour off the bat. He hit a ball 400 feet. That was not a home run. And then, oh yeah, also look what he did. He had another home run where I missed. He hit 2 home runs yesterday. He had the one right here, 103.8 miles per hour off the bat, 419 feet. He also had the triple that I mentioned, and then he hit this home run, 102 miles per hour off the bat, 384 feet, home run in 27 of 30 stadiums. So that's 3 hits, 380 feet or farther. 2 of them went 400 feet. And then, oh yeah, he also had a force out, 100 miles per hour off the bat. And he had another fly out that was considered hard hit. He just not hit hard enough, put too much in the air. But that is a ridiculous day at the plate. It's a ridiculous day at the plate for someone that we are getting at plus 800 odds. Normally when like the sports books see that, they're not going to price him the same way. We're getting plus 800 on Jordan Beck. And don't be scared off of betting him to go yard 2 games in a row. Look at what he did earlier this year, back about a little less than a month ago. This was a doubleheader. Hit a home run in the first game. Guess what? Hit 2 home runs in the second game. Guess what? The day after that, another 2 home runs. And then he went cold. That's fine. That is the nature of home runs in baseball. You're going to see these guys go on these ridiculous binges. And then, he's going to be cold for 10, 14 straight games. And then he's going to hit one. Then he's going to be cold again. But he hit 2 yesterday. And it's not just about the 2 that he hit yesterday. It's about the fact that he had 5 hard hits, 2 of them 400 feet and above, another one 380 feet, another one 100 plus miles per hour off the bat. It's just ridiculous. Now, the pitcher he's going up against is for the Diamondbacks, Merrill Kelly is not terrible. He's not a terrible pitcher. Decent numbers across the board. Home run every 32 at-bats against righties. Barrel rate, slightly below average, but not bad. All those numbers are not terrible. Look at him as a pitcher in general. Not a terrible guy. So really, we're not taking him because he's going up against a juicy matchup, but he's not Paul Skeens. He's not prime Nolan Ryan. It's not like he can't give up a home run. He's given up 2 to righties over his last 5 starts, and they're both off of the 4-seam fastball. So I just think that this is supremely mispriced on Jordan Beck at plus 800. So I'll gladly take advantage of it. That is play number 3. And then my 4th and final pick of the video is another guy that hit a home run yesterday, is also another guy that I think is supremely mispriced, Jackson Holliday. He is best offered all the way at plus 1,000 odds. There we go. Plus 1,000 odds on him to hit a home run. Now, from a line shopping perspective, books are kind of in agreement there. Fanatics at 900, DraftKings at 950, and ESPN Bet at 800. And then Caesars is always the lowest at plus 650. But from a Ballpark Pal perspective, he's tied for the best play of the game at, they have him priced at 488. That is a ridiculous difference between Ballpark Pal and the sports books in general. I mean, 488 to 1,000 is insane value. Now, the thing with Jackson Holliday, he's not had a great year. If you look at his entire season, you're not going to be that impressed. What you will be impressed with is what he's done at the plate recently. He had 2 hard hits 3 games ago. He had 3 hard hits 2 games ago, 1 barrel. And then yesterday, 4 hard hits, 2 barrels. He had all 3 of these hits on, this would have been on Friday, were 100 plus miles per hour or faster. 3 of these yesterday were 100 plus miles per hour or faster. 2 of them were put in the air. And that's the biggest difference, the biggest issue, I should say, with Jackson Holliday is he can hit the ball hard. He can't always put the ball in the air. Well, guess what? Home run 390 feet, double 376 feet. If this was pulled, it would have been a home run. If this had a little bit of a higher launch angle, it would have been a home run. But that's 2 of the 4 hits that traveled the farthest in the game yesterday. Absolutely annihilated these 2 pitches. And then he also had a ground out that was 106.2. That's not that impressive grounding out, but hey, at least he hit the ball incredibly hard. And then he had another fly out or another ground out that was 100.2. So actually, all 4 of his hits yesterday were 100 or faster off the bat. 2 of them traveled very far, with one of them being a home run. That is a very, very, very good day at the plate. It's kind of similar to Jordan Beck. And we're getting him plus 1,000 odds. So keep that in mind. I'm not telling you Shohei Ohtani's hot at the plate and we're taking him at plus 200. It's guy at plus 1,000. It's just an insane price. From a weather perspective, I haven't talked about that. Very, very good. It is very windy with winds blowing out to right field. That is going to help a lefty hitter like Jackson Holliday. I mean, anything winds that are 15 miles per hour or above, that is what's going to affect the trajectory of the baseball. Now, there are a lot of plays that are 15 miles per hour and above. Fenway, Citizens Bank Park. And granted, that's blowing almost sideways as opposed to out. But Yankee Stadium, that's also really good. And then the pitcher who's pitching for the Nationals, he's kind of similar to Merrill Kelly. He's not terrible. I'm not going to call him a stinky pitcher. He's definitely not somebody to be scared of either. His home run per 9 on the year, 1.27. He hasn't pitched a ton, 14 innings. He's given up 2 home runs in 14 innings. Guess what? Both of those home runs were hit against left-handed hitters in 41 at-bats. So, what I consider a stinky pitcher is anybody that gives up a home run 20 at-bats or fewer, and he's not quite there against a lefty, but he's very close. He is at every 25 at-bats, which is not terrible, but it's definitely not scary. And that's on the year. His last 5 starts was one of those home runs. Again, it's not a huge sample size, but you look at his kind of advanced splits against lefties. I mean, 1.93 home run per 9 is pretty bad. You look at him from a batted balls perspective, and this is the most important thing here, 17% difference between his ground ball rate and his fly ball rate. Granted, when you have a small sample size, these numbers are going to be a little bit wonky, but line drive rate, 20% against lefties is not bad, especially for someone like Holliday, who hits the crap out of the baseball, but has the habit of line driving it. And then that pull rate is really high as well, which is going to help. Now, looking at Holliday, again, he's been good recently. We look at him since May the 4th, probably a big Star Wars fan, if I had to guess. He's had 9 barrels on the year. In the last 2 weeks, of course, this thing is going to short circuit. That's always what happens. So while I'm waiting for this to load, I'll go through my my notes and give you guys the guys that I was debating but didn't play. It was Suarez, and then I should put in Corbin Carroll as well as a lean. And Ramirez, I liked. Stinky odds, not good at all. Jose Ramirez, I mean, he was plus 310 is the best offered price on him to hit a home run. It's pretty disgusting. It's a good matchup. He's going up against a lefty, and he annihilates left-handed pitching. But I'm not taking him at plus 310, even though it is a very, very good weather game at Great American Small Park. But anyways, going back to Jackson Holliday, 6 of his 9 barrels, that's very nice, have happened in the last 2 weeks. So disgusting start to the year. Much, much better recently, and currently in the midst of a hot streak. And he's kind of similar where, he hit 2 home runs back on May the 4th. Again, huge Star Wars fan. And if you look at the entire season, when he hits home runs, so his first one on the year was hit in April, and then he hit 2 back on May the 4th, and he hit 1 yesterday. So not an amazing season from a home run perspective, but swinging a hot bat. And again, I want to be clear about this. It's plus 1,000, right? I mean, that's a ridiculous price. If one of these guys hits a home run, we're making money. If 2 of them hit a home run, we're making a lot of money. And if all 4 of them hit a home run, we have enough money to buy a small island. Not actually, but either way, that's the biggest thing I want to highlight here is the price. Now, I know I've gone long in this video, so I will quickly go through my leans. Fresh Prince going up against a lefty. You always want to take him against a lefty. Plus 400 is not quite good enough for Fresh Prince. He's not that, and his name is Will Smith, by the way. Not that hot at the plate. I mentioned Gleyber Torres. If you wanted to, again, spray the board with him and Javi, I wouldn't blame you. Barger has been pretty hot at the plate. He was a guy that I considered has a decent matchup. I don't really have, I just kind of like the other guys better, but I think he's good. Austin Riley, I should also put him in the stinky odds category. So maybe you want to do a stinky odds round robin or parlay with Jose Ramirez and Austin Riley, and then probably Judge, because Judge always has stinky odds. I mean, plus 190 for Judge. Granted, that is plus EV, according to Ballpark Pal. But Austin Riley at plus 390, I wanted plus 400 or above for him to hit a home run. So you could put that in a stinky parlay. And then I mentioned Corbin Carroll. But the 4 official guys that I have to hit a home run, and then we'll go on and get on out of here, is Jackson Holiday at plus 1,000. It's Javi Bayz at plus 680. It's Eugenio Suarez at plus 400, and it's Jordan Beck at plus 800. If all 4 guys hit a home run, guess what? We profit 7 units. We wipe out all of the losses, literally all of them, during this cold streak. If 2 of these guys hit a home run, even if it's the 2 lowest in Suarez and Bayz, we are wiping out half of those losses. So that's all we got. I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe. Check out Ballpark Pal. Check out my Tails account, which is just where I've been scrolling through where I send everything out. Bet responsibly and have a good one.